Hello everyone, welcome back to my Kerbal Space Program series where we are going to be re-entering the Mun thing, even though we've done it once already. Anyway, I took the liberty of getting my trajectory down. I'm not going to go into a low orbit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the low orbit science as I'm passing over my landing site. So technically I'm going into a low orbit. Once I am at my landing site, however, I'm going to kill my velocity like that. Boom. That's going to take 379 delta V. That's going to take barely anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp there. Meow. Thank you, Kerbal Alarm Clock, for putting these things in the game. And it's only a 4-second burn, so this is actually really, really easy. So, unfortunately, I lost my maneuver. There we are. I'm burning with a slight inclination just so I can get inside the crater a little bit better. Come on. Trying to do this all in one burn so it's more efficient and I'm not making tons of course corrections, because I'd like to keep as much fuel in my bottom stage as possible. Let's go ahead and quick save it. You always want to quick save. It is like your god. Oh boy. Almost too close there, so I would have had to quickly reload. Okay, when we're at 2 seconds. Blammy. And blammy. Nope, too much. Alright. Alright, now our orbit is very slightly elliptical, and it's actually a bit too much, so we're going to want to point prograde a little bit, because this will, I want to get down inside that crater, and this will put me down just outside the crater. It's a little bit too much. No, you're going too far, going too far. I don't even know how much monopropellant I have left. Only 54 units. Not so great. If I can, you know, get there. Let's go ahead and get rid of this maneuver node, first of all, because we're not going to need it. Jesus. You know what? Turn on RCS. This is getting ridiculous. Alright, now I can turn it off. Alright, now that we're burning prograde a little bit, just... Alright, so when we're at the periapsis, we want to... Come on, crab, thank you. Well, first of all, let's do that. Jeez. Every time I double-click to try to get away from the maneuver node, it focuses on the Mun, which is quite irritating. You just have to be very, very careful when you do this, because there's a ridge over the crater, and it's very possible for you to go over the ridge. Alright, so once we are about there, yeah, that should be perfect. It only takes another 3 seconds of burning. In 42 minutes? It's gonna take 42 minutes to get there? Okay. And actually, that maneuver would allow me to keep orbit for a little bit before gently touching down in almost the dark side crater. You don't want the dark side crater. I've seen some things. Okay, so let's go ahead and with 3 seconds of burn, multiply that by the 1610 units of fuel I was using. Gives me about 48 seconds of... No, like 48 units of fuel. I'm reasonably certain I've just been using low thrust, and this thing should be less fuel efficient than I'm making it out to be. So I'm pretty sure it was like 18.9, which means I should only have 16 seconds of burn left. Which means after 3 seconds of this, and go there, and do that... Anyway. This maneuver is only about a 6-second maneuver, and once you're here, you want to make sure to... Once you're getting low over the Mun, you want to make sure to slow things down a little bit. So for example, I need to do my low Mun science, so... I almost completely forgot about that. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm still a good chunk of time away from the maneuver node, so I can afford to do this. That was weird. Lock the temperature for me. Crew report, send that. EVA for you. Oh, nope, going too far. Did I? Yep, I did do the EVA report. Okay. Alright, so we still have some time before this maneuver. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Gently nudge this thing back into position. And go. See, the reason you want to be careful here is because you can see these ridges. I'm actually getting pretty close to them. When you get close, things begin to happen. Okay. And I'm not entirely sure. Really? You want me to burn here? Okay. Kill some of my velocity. Okay. Oh, didn't quite get within 3 meters per second, but... There we are. We're right above the mun. And we should be just high over those craters, so... As opposed to killing my velocity there... Actually, that is the best place to do it, so... Go ahead and kill velocity there. It's going to take 16 seconds, so I want to burn this at about 20 seconds or so. Because I am not going to have enough fuel in this engine to complete the descent, but that's fine. Having this much fuel to help me with the descent is more than good enough. Come on. There we go. Over the maneuver, there we are. Yeah, see those ridges right there? That's what I'm worried about hitting. So let's go ahead and speed up a little bit. We're still 2 minutes away. I should be fine. And... welcome to the crater. This is where you want to land if it's your first time, because it's the easiest place to land. The craters are a lot flatter. Oh, come on. Oh, I forgot. SAS isn't on anymore. Yeah, the craters are a lot flatter. They're at sea... well, what would be a sea level generally, just a little bit higher. Whereas every other part of the mun is mountainous and hilly, and slightly above what would be considered sea level. Alright, well, go ahead and extend the landing gear now. Starting the lights isn't important, but you want to make sure your landing gear are extended. As you can see, a lot of this area is still really hilly, so... my chances of finding a place that are not quite so hilly are a little bit off. So what I want to do is I want to move this over here. Oh, there. There we go. Just want to move the maneuver node. Actually, you know what? This is a perfect spot. If I can kill my velocity here. Okay, too much. Alright, and this is where I'm apparently landing now. Now, which way am I going? Time to... so, okay, I'm dropping down. So let's go ahead and point retrograde. It's more efficient to go retrograde. And plus, this puts us near those highlands, so I can probably just scooch over there and take a quick EVA report, surface sample, all that jazz. Thrust a little bit to make sure I'm not moving too far. That was enough to push me? Which way am I going? Can't really tell. Oh, no, I'm going to land on this side. That's not quite so cool. And there we are. Let's see if that did anything. A little bit better. But here's the tough part. We need to make sure that we land without killing ourselves. Can I take another crew report here or no? No. We're still in space near mun. I could take an EVA report. Let me quick save it first. Above the far side crater. From space above the far side crater. And when I land, I'll be able to do it from, not from space, but from the far side crater itself. Looks like we're going to land on a hill. That's not a good thing. Oh, SAS, please. Yeah, we might land in a small little ditch, but I think we're going to be fine. Alright, so, got to be careful here, because I'm not sure what it'll take to kill velocity. Looks like it'll take about 16 solid seconds of burn, so... Now, that's me trying to do suicide burns. What you really want to do is you want to lower your, you want to make sure you're going no more than 10 times your current altitude, so... There we are. You want to be going 60 meters per second when you're at 60. You want to be going at about 10 meters per second when you're at 10. So that way you're killing about a tenth of your velocity every 10 seconds or so. Go ahead and just keep lowering my velocity. You don't want to go too slow because then it'll take forever to get down. And yeah. This is the fun part, where we wait and see if I overestimate just how long it takes me. You also can't speed up like this because you're under 5,000 meters now. You could do physical time acceleration by hitting Alt and the time acceleration keys, but it's very dangerous to do it this close. As a matter of fact, I think I'm coming up much closer to the ground than I initially thought I was. Go ahead and lower it to a more respectable landing distance. These landing gear are typically good for about 12 meters per second at the max. Yeah, it looks like I'm coming up on the ground a little bit more quickly than I thought. So it's a good thing I took that precautionary burn. Now, it's also important to note that depending on how much fuel you land with, if you can't make it back to Kerbin, that's actually kind of fine. As long as you can make it into orbit, then you're not going to be trapped here. And it's easier to rescue someone from orbit than it is to rescue someone who's trapped on the surface. Now we're getting close. We are getting very close. Go ahead and increase my thrust just a little bit. Oh god. Hit the wrong button there. There we are. You want to make sure your velocity is decreasing as well when you hit the ground. Because if your velocity is decreasing when you hit the ground, you won't bounce. As opposed to if it's increasing, you will bounce. You also want to make sure not to hit obviously the surface too hard. You also want to make sure you don't hit it too soft either. Because then you can wind up flipping yourself around, especially if you have SAS enabled. There's my shadow. I'm getting close. My velocity is slowly dropping. Yep, hit the ground too hard, you bounce. Hit it too soft, and you could perceivably bounce, and your SAS could mess you up. And... No. There we are. Oh god, SAS. Yeah, you want to turn off SAS when you're about to land, otherwise stuff like this can happen. Boom. Stability assist can mess you up here, but we have landed. Let's go ahead and turn off these lights because they're causing some frame droppage for me. Anyway, it's immediately time to do some sciences. 100 science. Observe GU. I said observe GU. For 40 science. Log temperature. For 32 science. Take a crew report. For a certain amount of science. 20. Go on EVA. EVA report. Space just above... Oh, I think I already have that one. Crap. Yep. Could not be stored. Oh, well. Yeah. And we have landed. The moon's gravity is quite a bit lower, so you can jump to your heart's content. And by pressing RCS, you can float. Ta-da! Hi, Mom! I can see my house from here. That would be rather bad. You have to be careful. Just because gravity's lower doesn't mean you can't kill yourself by going down too fast. I've done it before. I have killed Jebediah. I have indeed killed Jebediah by going down too fast. I'm going to take that... Yes, overwrite the one that I can't actually use and take the surface sample. Alright, now one thing we are going to do is... We're going to go ahead and collect the data out of these. That way I don't forget later. It's easier to do this when you don't have the danger of, you know, getting flung off the space. Now, the Kerbal Attachment System lets you grab some of the small parts and move them around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this hit attach, and then click. There we go. The reason I'm doing this is that way, in case I can get more temperature data somewhere else and I forget to get it out, then it will survive with the capsule, so I won't have to manually retrieve the data from it. Oh, overshot that a little bit. Yeah. Now, on the Mun, it's not quite as bad if you run out of EVA repellent. Not repellent, propellant, rather. It's not quite as horrible as if you're in space and you run out of propellant, because you'll land back, and you can jump pretty high, so you can get back inside the cockpit and replenish it very easily. Let's go ahead and grab this. Click on it, attach. Boom, attached. Now, I forgot to put add decouplers to this, so I gotta carry these bays back. In the future, what you might want to do is you might want to set the science bays onto radial decouplers. So that way you can jettison them after you're done using them. And you're not carrying extra mass when you're trying to leave. Go ahead and attach this. Let's attach this. I can rotate it with B and N, so B. There we go. And we have completed our scientific endeavors. I can store my myriad of experiments in there. And I'm going to go ahead and quickly quick save it, so that way I can enjoy my time on the Mun by flying. Look at that. Ta-da! I should probably add a flag to that. But yeah, you gotta be careful when flying, because you can get flung off by even the slightest thing. You gotta be very careful. Also, don't land too hard, otherwise your Kerbal will do somersaults. And that's especially bad if you're going down a slope. I didn't mean to plant a flag there. God damn it. I meant to take another surface sample. I can't, and oh, there we are, take down. Boom. Let me take another surface sample just in case I'm in a new biome. I don't think I am, but can't hurt to check. RCS, jump, and there we go. Don't want to hit the ground too hard again. Otherwise this will happen, and you will not be able to control your Kerbal for a while. Also, don't time accelerate too fast when you're rolling down a hill. And this is the bad part about having parked on a hill. You're never gonna... There we go. It was all part of the plan. He just wanted to cruise down here in style. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead and fly back up. Now, if you have enough fuel, or you made sure to bring enough fuel with you, or if you brought like a rover with you, you can explore different biomes and get a whole bunch more science. That's also great if you brought yourself a science lab so you can clean these experiments. I'm going to go ahead and board. Yep, some of the experiments I have could not be brought in. So yeah, I think it's time for us to go back. Now, it's important for you to try to go out of orbit this way. And by that I mean you burn right here, so that way you're you leave orbit going in this direction, because then you wind up getting slingshotted back. So you want to try to leave orbit the way you would also leave orbit for Kerbin, and that's going at a 45 degree... Holy crap! Alright, so going at a 45 degree angle, and not messing up like I just did. Roll a little bit, pitch a little bit. Keep an eye on yourself. I'm going the wrong way. Was I really supposed to be going the other way? I'm supposed to be going this way, apparently. God, I hate when I get turned around like that. Luckily, I think I have enough fuel.